I have a blind spot.
Whoa, a blind spot.
I have a blind spot. Can you even believe it? It's true, my home security coverage has a blind spot, which is unacceptable. So I reached out to Eufy this time and asked if they had anything they wanted to send me that may help with said blind spot, because I couldn't possibly be expected to pay for my own cameras now, could I? In all seriousness, I am well within the Eufy ecosystem, as you can see from my other videos, so it was really a no-brainer that I wanted to stay within this. I wanted the camera to be smallish, have be compatible with the HomeBase 3 and ideally be 4K. Well, 3 out of 4 isn't bad. So here we have the Eufy Solocam 220, which is the newer, smaller brother to the 230. The 220, however, at time of filming this video, will set you back £109.99 Great British pounds. Now, this is not a sponsored video in any way, shape or form, but as I said, Eufy were kind enough to send me this for free, so thank you for continually supporting small creators such as myself. So the point of this video is to obviously get my blind spot covered, but also to look at what kind of HomeBase 3 compatibility this camera has. i.e., does it just store its video to the HomeBase 3, or can it utilize the AI and have its security mode set along with all other devices? Also, how does the 2K image of this stack up against the 4K image of the smaller but no solo panel Eufy Cam 3? Video up here somewhere. But before we get into this point, we need to find out what we get in the box. First out of the box is another box, which contains your mounting bracket, swivel head thing, pack of screws, a USB Type A to Type C charge cable, and that's it. Next, a War and Peace novel, also known as a user manual, and then the 220 camera itself, which measures 95.5 by 81 by 57.5 millimeters and weighs a measly 313 grams. That's your lot. Unboxing done. This is certainly small. Eufy describes it as tiny but mighty. But what kind of factors are packed into this little beast to mightify it? That's not even a word. So to start, it has 2K resolution, which is also known as Quad HD, with a 2560 by 1440 pixel count. It contains a microphone and speaker so you can converse with your intruder. So without further ado, here is what 2K footage from this camera looks and sounds like. Here is what footage and sound is like with the Eufy 220 2K camera in my sunny, sometimes garden. As with all Eufy security products, there is no, I repeat, no subscription fee, which was and still is one of the main reasons I use them to this very day, along with obviously not having to pay for the cameras myself. The camera can operate completely offline regardless of the mode. More on that in a minute. So if your internet connection dies, for example, everything will still be captured. It has via the built-in solar panel, and a lack of sunshine, which is very likely here in the UK, means it will run for around 3 months before needing to charge its 6500 milliamp hour battery. And because it is battery powered, you cannot record 24/7. And speaking of UK weather, this also has IP67 water resistant rating. It has all you would expect from a security camera, such as AI detection, motion detection, the ability to set detection zones, and night vision. Although there's no spotlight on this model like its big brother, so no color night vision. It has 8 gigs of onboard storage for standalone use, which is non-removable or expandable, but when paired with the HomeBase 3, you can utilize that for storage. There is no support for the real-time streaming protocol currently, as well as no Apple HomeKit support. However, Mrs. A and Google Home are both supported. For a more in-depth setup of these cameras, as they are all fairly similar, please have a look at one of my other Eufy videos. Begin by giving the battery a fighting chance and charge it. Once charged, and before you mount it, you're going to want to start by adding it into the Eufy app, which is called Eufy Security and is available from your app store of choice. Open the app, click plus, choose battery, find it at the bottom, follow the prompts, job done. Next, the physical setup, which requires a drill, the bracket, and securing the camera. Setup is all done. To touch on the setup, super quick and easy, as with every other time I've set up one of these devices. Nothing new for me to add here whatsoever. I've touched on that this camera can be standalone or via the HomeBase 3. And by standalone, I mean you don't need a HomeBase in order to use this camera. It can operate via a 2.4 gigahertz wireless network. It also had no problems whatsoever with my mixed 2.4 and 5 gigahertz network. I also am only mentioning the HomeBase 3 specifically because this is not compatible with any lower model of HomeBase. So basically your options are the HomeBase 3 or standalone mode only. So the big question I had was, would this get all of the features that the HomeBase 3 offers? Well, the answer to that question that you keen-eyed viewers might have spotted via the setup is yes. When setting this up, you get to choose standalone or HomeBase 3. And when connected to the HomeBase, it does give you all the features the HomeBase 3 has to offer. And what are those features? The most obvious is its ample storage, as you can use your own SATA hard drive in the HomeBase 3. So the amount of storage is absolutely huge. We're talking 15 years worth with a single 1 terabyte drive. It also introduces the Bionic Mind, which is the AI tech for recognition, so it can determine between strangers, family members, or just familiar faces. As it's connected to the HomeBase 3, along with all of your other devices, you can then centrally manage its security mode, which basically means I only need to set the mode once, and then it gets applied to all of my devices, rather than having to remember to go in and manually set each one. One other point to mention here is when recording and storing to the HomeBase 3, the footage is obviously securely centrally stored in your home, but more importantly, it is encrypted. What this camera doesn't have, however, which I thought was an excellent feature on the newer cameras, was the anti-theft mode. I often get comments asking how loud the inbuilt sirens are, and this one is said to be 75 decibels, but I don't need to rely on what is said anymore. I can test it myself now. So the main obvious difference between this camera and the Eufy 3C is that this has forever power and is 2K, whereas the 3C is 4K and it needs recharging. What does the resolution difference look like in real terms? Well, take a look and decide for yourself.
And this side we have the one I've been talking about in this video, the S220. So here is side by side example footage.
For me, where this camera will be placed meant that the forever power was more important to me than the 4K resolution, as I hate having to charge things. As you can see from me flicking around in the app here, the camera has all the standard settings and options you would expect if you were familiar with the Eufy setup. So as I said, this is 109.99 Great British pounds, and that is a lot of money. There are many other cameras out there that can offer its functionality in standalone mode a lot cheaper, but from experience, you won't be getting the hardware quality or the well-rounded and thought-out app that has come from years of experience. If you are in the Eufy ecosystem, then this camera is certainly a worthwhile addition, but if you're not in the ecosystem, then this could also be a perfect way to start. Once again, thank you to Eufy for sending me this, and if you guys have any more questions about this camera, or anything else for that matter, then please do let me know in the comments box down below. And whilst you're down there...
That's what she said.
Please do consider liking the video, even if you didn't. Subscribing if you aren't already, and hitting the bell to get notified when I upload new videos, because it really helps me get sent more free stuff like this to play with and make videos about. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for watching. Goodbye, internet.
Throw this shade on me like they all hate on me.